Our story starts in space. This is what Earth may have looked like 4.5 billion years ago. This small planet called Theia is heading straight for it. Early Earth had multiple impacts, but this one was the most destructive. The collision shatters Theia and vaporizes Earth's outer layers. Over time, the surface reformed as a fiery, molten sea. But this is not a fire as we usually think of it. Rather, it's an unimaginable amount of heat that is continually flowing out of the planet. It is released most dramatically through volcanoes. This is Marham Crater on Vanuatu in the South Pacific. Deep inside, a lava lake, one of only a handful on Earth. Lava is thrown out and cools to form the newest rocks on the planet. And every rock tells a story. By analyzing the rocks, geologists can learn secrets about Earth's beginnings. But first, you have to get to them. This crater is deep enough to swallow a skyscraper. The only way in is a treacherous rope descent down a sheer, unstable rock face. And if that isn't enough, the air is toxic. It's a place no normal human would go. Karsten Peter, however, is not normal. Karsten is a National Geographic photographer, driven by a passion for exploring volcanoes, no matter how remote or dangerous.
Plane photography is maybe not really enough for me, so I like these additional challenges. I want to be as close as possible to kind of give an intimate view into a volcano.
Decades ago, he led one of the first scientific and photographic expeditions down to Marham's lava lake, where he collected rocks for study. Ever since, he's been looking for a chance to do it again. But for 2 weeks, there have been torrential downpours. And right now, maybe their only chance. Karsten is working with a team that specializes in high-risk climbs. Expedition leader Jeff Mackley and climbing expert Chris Horsley.
Definitely very insignificant down there. The walls are kind of just straight up. And then you have this raging monster next to you. It's an amazing feeling.
Their luck is short-lived. Rain is moving back in that could trigger deadly mudslides. As the days go by, it becomes apparent that the seasonal monsoon rains have started early and will continue for months.
It's always disappointing when you cannot fulfill what you intend to do. Vanuatu is not finished for me.
So if the Earth's surface once looked like Marham's lava lake, how did it go from that to what we have today? One theory suggests, after Earth's collision with Theia, gas and debris were blasted into space and likely formed our moon. At that point, the moon was a lot closer, and its gravity pulled at our planet, helping keep the surface molten. The Earth's rotation slowed as the moon drifted away, and the surfaces of both cooled and crusted over. Where the heat broke through, volcanoes were formed. Their eruptions sent out vast volumes of gases that helped build our early atmosphere. At the same time, volcanic activity carried minerals to the surface, and the landscape began to change. They also provided water that contributed to our first oceans. A majority of the world's active volcanoes are underwater. These boiling hot hydrothermal vents are called black smokers. Scientists believe that simple life forms may have originated here and then spread through the oceans, becoming more complex and eventually moving on to land. This was just the first chapter of how volcanoes may have helped create life on Earth. What we call ash is actually pulverized rock. The ash holds a hidden secret. It's full of nutrients. This crater is all that remains of an ancient volcano called Ngorongoro. That eruption laid the foundation for a rich and diverse ecosystem, the Serengeti Plains. One of the major reasons is the volcanic soil that produces nutrient-rich grasses. Over centuries, humans settled next to volcanoes. We farmed their fertile slopes and built civilizations in their shadows. Today, those ancient settlements have become some of the world's major cities. But there's a paradox here. Volcanoes build, but they also destroy. In 79 AD, a massive eruption from Mount Vesuvius wiped out the Roman town of Pompeii. Thousands died in Pompeii and in the towns and villages that surrounded Vesuvius. The ash preserved everything so perfectly that as archaeologists started to uncover the ruins, they discovered evidence of a sprawling, vibrant city. The remnants give us a sense of what life was like in those last moments. Vesuvius has erupted frequently since Pompeii. And now, with millions of people living in its danger zone, even a moderate eruption could be catastrophic. Scientists still can't predict with accuracy exactly when a volcano is going to erupt. But they can tell when one is waking up. Today, Karsten is on a remote island in Indonesia, headed for a rather moody volcano called Volcano. It's part of a region referred to as the Ring of Fire, where plate tectonics cause a lot of volcanic activity. To get the vantage point he wants, Karsten needs to set up on the rim of the crater, unnervingly close to the active vent. This is where his considerable experience means everything.
If you look directly into the vent, it's like if you look into a cannon. The projectiles can come very, very fast, faster than you might notice them. They make a sound like a fuse, so you immediately know, oh, that was close. You push yourself all the time. You also get caught in the moment, and well, it's so mesmerizing, so beautiful. And I mean, how does the next one look like? It might be louder, bigger, and better.
Volcanoes are a powerful force. At times, you can see that power in amazing ways. At Yasser, explosions are so energetic that they generate visible shock waves. Before remote technology, the images that Karsten and his colleagues took were sometimes the only way for volcanologists to see this activity up close. On the Big Island of Hawaii, the Kilauea volcano has been closely monitored for over a century. Since the mid-1980s, it has been erupting in a mostly slow and stable pattern. That predictability gave people the confidence to build houses in areas they thought were safe. Even though this is one of the most watched volcanoes, no one expected the magnitude of what came next. In a matter of days, more than 20 fissures opened up, and huge fountains of lava shot hundreds of feet into the air. There is no way of stopping this much lava. All that residents could do was watch as their neighborhoods were consumed by the flows. In 3 months, Kilauea produced enough lava to cover Manhattan Island almost 20 feet deep. And while no lives were lost, for the thousands of people in the area, life will never be the same. This eruption is part of an ongoing process that built this island up from the bottom of the sea. In time, new life will return to these blackened landscapes as the cycle of destruction and rebirth continues. Six months ago, monsoon rains forced Karsten to give up his descent down to the lava lake at Marm Crater. Now, he's back. This time, the weather is perfect. After a grueling 2-hour descent, they make it to the crater floor.
This lake is one of the wildest lakes you can imagine. The whole thing is rumbling, the whole earth is shaking. It's absolutely incredible.
Once again, Karsten's adventures have taken him to places few of us will ever go. And he's bringing back some new rocks for scientists to study. If every rock tells a story, imagine what these might say. Even small contributions can add up to a major discovery. And that could lead us to a new understanding about volcanoes and the way these fires of creation have shaped our Earth.